check in. Penthouse suite, check in. When your feet hit the street, check in. Cause if not, shit get hot, you better check it in.
Yeah, yes, sir. You got Big U, World Star, checking in. How about this? We finna give you an exclusive, straight from the hood. You dig? Burials and all that shit. A legend in this music, a legend in these streets, and a big name. One you can't go to New York without checking in with. My man, Mr. Jim.
Thank you very much.
You did?
Oh man, how you feeling, big bro?
Man, I'm good, man. You know, I just came out here to check in with you, man, and like get the history, man, to feel the vibes, you know?
Oh man, the vibe is love here. Like I was telling you, we don't call it checking in on, we don't call it the past here, we call it love. You could come get some of this love, or you could come and don't get no love. I don't know if it's gonna work in your favor, but we out here, we're in the midst of Harlem. I said you was coming to New York, so I want to make sure I extend my hand as much as I can and roll out the carpet. So I wanted to actually do this interview right in the middle of Harlem. You know what I mean? As this is where we are. This is a dance studio we have for the kids, Go Hard Dance Studio. As you know, we very heavily vested into the kids, our community. That's a big part of what we do. We always give back, from the days we was hustling to now the days that we do legitimate business. So all that I could do in helping my brothers and sisters when they giving a big effort towards the kids is what I do. This is my brothers-in-law spot, and I'm always here with the kids, and we always having fun and things like that. So anytime I get an opportunity like this, I always like to bring the people here, let them know what we're doing and how comfortable we are in this community, and from all the love that we show to the community.
And that's big. I don't know if y'all missed it, but we right here, Go Hard Dance Studio. And then, you know what I mean? He wanted to do it here. And that's what I do. I do 24 hours a day with my kids, helping giving the kids, giving back, focusing on them babies, so I be able to have energy to deal with this ignorant shit on a regular basis. They come with these babies, genuine. They gonna tell you what they like, tell you what they don't like.
Yep.
They gonna tell you it didn't make sense.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They gonna say, I seen you. You know who checked me the most is I seen you on such and such.
Yes.
And the babies, then I gotta be like,
You gotta tighten up.
I gotta be careful on what I say
Yeah.
and what I do, because when I get to practice, the 5 and 6 year olds gonna come tell me, you said this, coach.
It's a dollar curse, man. Be careful.
Yeah, they keep me in check. And once again, we right here with the legend in the dance studio, man. So listen, right here is where it started. But where did it start from you? Like, how did you even how did Street Nigga get in music, man?
For me?
Yeah.
For me, it started, I would say like 93 when I first heard Cam and his cousin Bloodshed rapping. And they were so talented at that time. It was like, wow, these niggas really need to be on records. Like, it was that early. And us being outside so early in Harlem, it's kind of a thing. Like, kids come outside at a very early age in Harlem, 13, 14, 15. We kind of navigate to the dopest parties with all the grown-ups and shit like that. So since 93, 94, me and Cam really been outside, going to the biggest clubs in New York City from the Tunnel on down. You could, at 15 to 16, you could run it down. So from that age, just catching that fire of wanting to be somebody big because of the roads we were traveling in, and the people that we was attracted to, and the hustlers that was on the street of Harlem and shit like that. It was a natural progression for us as we got deep into the game, and as they got better with the music and we started understanding the law of the land, everything started happening in our favor. Mace was all in the picture and shit like that. And 94, we all graduated. Me, Mace, Cam, Bloodshed. They went to school, college. None of them was successful at college. They all got kicked out of school and ended up coming back to Harlem, and they all end up staying in my grandmother's house. My grandmother had just passed in 95, and now they come back, and none of them wanted to let nobody know they got kicked out of school, so naturally they staying at my house until they got it together. And then Mace was the first one to get the deal out the bunch. Ended up going, I think, to Atlanta to one of these music conventions, ended up getting a deal with Puffy, come back going crazy. It was just crazy to see Mace really sign a record deal and come back and be a real rapper, like one of the people I grew up with. Like, that shit was just kind of mind-blowing in the beginning. And, through all the trials and tribulations, everything that people seen us go through with Cam and Mace and myself and all that, everybody did their job. Like Mace made sure he did his job. He doubled back and got Cam and deal with Big. And that was the biggest thing above anything before anything. Like no matter what, become enemies for the rest of their life. He definitely did a favor that we wouldn't have got if it wasn't for him, and we wouldn't be here in this capacity that everybody knows for if it wasn't for him making that move. And in turn, Cam did the same thing. He doubled back and got me and Joel the deal. It just was a...
So let me set the stage, because I was gone. So all of this is brand new to me. Like the story you tell us, so let me tell you, I left in 91. I went to the pen in 1991. I went to the shoe in 2000. So in 2000, from 2000 to 2004 when I paroled, I don't know nothing. I don't see no hip hop, see no music, I don't see nothing. I'm gone for 4 years. 3 years and 9 months I'm living in a box. For 3 years and 9 months, so when I fall out, I'm like, it's Dipset, it's this, it's that. Because see, when I left, again, it's the West Coast, East Coast beef. Yeah. When I leave
Tim Dog and them going crazy.
I go to the hole. So I go from like, there's the streets, then there's the pen, then there's the shoe.
Fuck Compton and all them records they had.
I missed all that.
That was crazy. That was early high school. We wasn't really outside at that time, but we was watching. That's when the West Coast whole vision started coming to life, and we started to understand about what the gangbanger culture was, and then kind of that whole East Coast, West Coast friction started going on early.
So that brought you kind of came in it with Mason, with Puff.
Yeah, we from the era.
Because the beef was on, right?
Well, that kind of was like the end of the beef, because remember, that was like so when May signed with Puff,
what year he signed with Puff?
He was there with Biggie for a little while, and then remember Big had got killed in 97 was?
97.
Yeah, May signed.
I remember that.
They signed in 96, so he got Mace was with Biggie and them for a little while till that happened, and after that shit happened. That kind of, after Big had passed, I don't know all the personal shit, but it kind of in the media that shit kind of all started to fizzle down and shit like that.
So when did y'all get on? Because you say Mace came back, got y'all, so
we got on in 97, and Mace signed in 96, right before Big passed. Mace came and bring Cam to Big's house in Jersey. Cam ended up rapping for Big. And he came back to my house like, yo, I just rap for Big. He said he gonna give us a deal. Big ended up getting killed right after he said he gonna give Cam a deal. Now he's like, shit, what the fuck? Big just got killed. How we gonna get the deal? I'll never forget it. Like that shit kind of had us fucked up for a minute, because it was like, damn. And then they was doing a We Love Big Papa video in Mount Morris Park right down the street over here in Harlem. And it's when Cam had the liquor store. He brought the liquor store for his moms, and we used to work in the liquor store all the time. After the liquor store closed, man, when we said, let's go by the video, everybody talking about niggas over there at the video. We went over there by the video, and we walking towards the video, end up seeing and all the Source magazines. I used to read all the Source magazines since a kid when the shit first came out, so I knew who everybody was. I ended up seeing I'm like, yo, Cam, that's That's the nigga Diaz. That's the nigga that's Big partner and shit like that. Like, let's go see if Big told you about him. He ended up running down on like, yo, this Cam and such and such. Was like, yeah, Big told me about you, Duke. He said he want to sign you. Come to the office on Monday. We're going to give you that deal. Or I never found out I never knew what Cam signed his first deal for, but I think it was a good amount of change in 97 for young kids who were still pretty much teenagers and shit like that. Ended up getting the big Benz, fresh out, start going crazy out here in Harlem and shit like that. And I remember that vividly and shit like that. That's pretty much.
Then that one kicked it off.
Mm-hmm.
Then that got you on.
Yeah, Cam got me on. I did everything when it came to Cam in the beginning. It didn't matter what it was, from hype man to security to chef to whatever I needed to do to make sure that he was all right and was comfortable in his position, because I knew that he was going to be the one to get us all out of there. And I understood that we had to make sure he was all right so we could be all right.
No, that's how we all work, man. That's how I work. I did everything for Nip. When I first left, when I left Suge and went to go find me an artist, and I chose Nip. Well, I did everything. Whatever was done to be done. That's why people thought I was the manager, because he signed in my production company. But I wasn't the manager. We didn't have no money to be no manager. There wasn't a reason to be no manager. We was all everything. We was the We was the DJ, we was the box boy, we was the,
everything that came to it. In the beginning, the first couple of years, it was just me and him until we started learning the law of the land and understand how the game worked and start seeing how grimy the game was. And we was used to pretty much all that. We gonna start bringing Harlem with us.
Yeah.
And we just start coming back and recruiting some of the most illest niggas we could find and start bringing them niggas around the country with us because we knew we was up against a war. If we wanted to make the money, we was gonna get into some shit. So we had to make sure we was covered all bases, and I was good at that.
And y'all was how old?
Cam was 19, 20. So we graduated in 94. We were 17, 97, yeah, 19, 20. May sounded like 19, Cam sounded like 20. We was fresh out of high school, so that kind of saved us from being all the way in the street, hustling, selling drugs, and playing with everything that Harlem had. I think we either got swallowed up whole, because Harlem is a very fast place at that time, and the money that people was making and money that people was trying to make, I seen niggas getting killed all the time about the money. Like, it wasn't gangbanging at that time. It was about money, selling crack and getting money, cocaine money. You dig? Right when we got signed, it still was a heavy era of cocaine, and us signing that deal and the music saved us from the streets. I wholeheartedly know that, because there was no other direction for us to go in. Cam got kicked out of school for basketball. That was one of the dreams we thought that would take us out of here. That didn't work, so we came back. The next thing was having to hustle, which we had to do until we got to a situation where Cam got signed and we didn't have to hustle no more. But of course, being ignorant, we didn't understand the opportunity we had. Hustle started continuing in different ways because we were being ignorant with so much money and so young and so much power. Like, we was out here bugging.
Then, I mean, I know the hustle, because when you get to hustle, you get to move to Cali, you get to move to different places. Everything become easier.
Yeah, I was
Doors open up.
Yeah, Camden had houses everywhere. That's one thing I can't say. Cam was very, very, very keen about the hustle and shit like that, taking us around the country and staying in certain places, like and making it home, from Chicago to Ohio to Miami to even LA. Like, he was just like a master of that, and I didn't understand that until the years started going on and the music started coming in, and all these places that we was at started treating us like one of them. Every time we go up there, like, it just very, very, a lot of lessons I learned from Cam, from how we moved in the beginning and shit like that, because we had to make up our own rules. There wasn't nobody that taught us anything. We didn't have no OGs. We didn't respect no OGs, which was a bad part on us, because we had this whole thing, and we don't give a fuck about what them old niggas got to say. And that was very bad, because we needed somebody to school us to a lot of shit that we didn't know about. We bumped our head all the time. But because we had money, it made it feel better. But it didn't make it any better. You know what I mean? Right. So when I'm looking at the youngest now and shit like that, I encourage all of them to grab somebody that's a little bit older than you who is successful. That's one thing about it, too. It's kind of hard to call you my OG and you not successful and you not lit and you not popping. I really don't want to hear about the lessons you got to say, because we don't give a fuck about yesterday, because yesterday ain't paying today's bills. You dig?
Yeah. But now we learn to figure out this, see, because that happens a lot too, like in the hood structure, in the gang structure, because you can have one of the homies, he can go get a bag, he do one lick. Now he's sitting on 200-300, but then he feel like he ain't got to listen to you, and you didn't walk these streets. So you already seen it, like, nigga, honestly, from my position being a young nigga, I watched niggas get a bag, leave the hood. As soon as it go bad for them, they trying to come back to the hood.
And they not welcome there.
Guess where your spot in the hood is? Way back there. And niggas don't understand that. So it come with, like you said, that come with life experiences, man. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the object is to leave the hood. When you get some money, no doubt about it. And I encourage everybody to try to leave your circumstances that you grew up with, because 9 times out of 10, I don't think that they were great circumstances, no matter how much of a good time you had. It's a place to elevate and things like that. But because you move out the hood does not mean that you don't leave that avenue of a two-way street to go back and forth, to let people see how much of a success story you are, to give them inspiration and shit like that. You know what I mean? There's a certain thing when you're making some money and you're trying to shine on people. You don't shine on nobody. I'm trying to shine with you. You know what I mean? At this point in my life. So a lot of the things that I was doing when I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, I've learned a lot of cold lessons to where everything has changed for me. You know what I mean? So.
And then you look back on Dipset.
Dipset.
What it mean? What the name? Where it come from? Where you get that first deal from?
Dipset deal. Def Jam signed us. Well, not Def Jam. Rockefeller signed us. I remember being in Kevin Lyle's office, and before we going in, Cam telling me and Joel, you niggas better rap like you at the biggest concert of your life when we go inside this office. I'm looking at this nigga like, what? You gonna be rap for one man in the office? Like, man, you niggas don't play with me. And he was adamant. I'm like, all right, fuck it. We go in there, remember rapping for the nigga Kevin Lyles, all our records. Kevin Lyles, like, all right, we're gonna give you the deal signing right now and shit like that. That's how smart Dame was and shit like that. Dame let us do that whole play. And right before the deal got signed, Dame called downstairs like, those are our artists. So just switch the name from Def Jam and put Rockefeller there. Thank you. You made the deal easier for me anyway. It took me 2 weeks to do it, some fly shit, and y'all did it in 1 day. Cool. Thank you. I'll take that, and y'all take the overriders. Y'all do as the over company, and Dipset got signed to Rockefeller. I was like, damn, that nigga's cold.
Dang.
Cold. You dig? And so we know Dame since we was 6 and 7 years old. I know Dame pretty much all my life. So, you know what I mean? I've witnessed how smart he is, and sometimes being too smart for his own good. But hey. Everybody got their own shit.
He's a visionary. I got a lot of respect for him, bro. I got a whole lot of respect for how he's doing. I'm supposed to link up with him too when I get back home. I mean, you know, with everybody. I'm just moving everybody. But I was talking to you earlier about the first deal, Jen. I know you had, because I know people don't really understand your business. You know, like, because you get your gangster, then you got your business, but your business is so phenomenal. And I remember when I first met you, you don't remember when I first met you, because I don't think you knew who I was. I was in Alan Grunblatt's office, and you came in there, you and your people, and I was in there, and the whole building shut down. And it was like, Jim coming. They shut the whole building down. And I was in New York on some other shit, and I stopped by Alan's office, and they was like, Jim was here. Motherfuckers started going to desks and people started moving around and niggas was, I'm like, and I was by myself. No, I was with one of my own boys. And they was like, I don't even know what made you come speak to me, but you just looked at me, you was like.
I was aware of who you was once I heard your name and shit like that. Just from you being so versatile.
Right. I didn't even know you was gonna do who the fuck I was. I was like.
Certain names ring bells in the West Coast, like when you go out there, like my man Magic, like when we first got out there, when you was going, it was like, nigga, watch out for Magic, but Magic ended up being my nigga, like you dig? But Magic had a bow tie on you and creep right in you, like, nigga, no, like Magic, like what? So it's like names in LA that you know ring bells. So when you came home, it's like, big, he got me, shit, what? I'm like, all right, I respect it, shit. So when I see you in Allen office and shit like that, real respect, real and shit like that. And I respect the rapport that we had ever since then. There's never been no confusion between us. You dig?
Because, I mean, you know, at the end of the beginning of the day, it's a lot of bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And when I came home in 2004, I had a choice to make. Either I go strengthen the Crip Corps against the Bloods, or I go strengthen black men to be with black men. And I chose, because I'm a Muslim, to come home and conduct myself as such, as a Muslim. Somebody to bring peace to peace where there's chaos. And that's what I want to do. I want to be instrumental in bringing everybody together. And I'm always asked that question about affiliations and Bloods and Crips in other states. And I often myself say, if I get off a plane, I would love to see cousins in every state, everywhere I go. I don't know how nobody else would feel, but I don't know how y'all was received and what you went through because of the success in music. There's always a bit of jealousy, and then claiming or being affiliated. I know how I received my homeboys, but I know they ain't always so with you. So how was y'all received as far as Bloods and being coming around? I mean, from
going
Bloods,
around
not really.
In the beginning. So this shit started out here in '93. I wasn't banging in '93, maybe like '97. I started chilling light, God bless his soul and shit like that. So in the beginning, we got a lot of backlash. And then when we start doing the music and putting the lights, camera, action on it and everybody get to see it, we started hearing a lot of, them niggas is fake bloods coming from the West Coast. And us being over here going what we're going through, really banging and people dying and things like that, it was something that didn't really sit right with a lot of us. And me in being in a position of success and influence at that time and just starting out, I wanted to make sure that West knew that we was very authentic in what we doing as far as this blood shit. And I took a chance. Knew a few people out there in LA, and I said, I'm going to shoot my video Certified Gangsters in Compton. You dig? and I'm not saying it like I'm Superman or Superblood. I'm talking about I was willing to take that risk of what it had to take to build that bridge between the West Coast and the East Coast, because we both was up against the same things,
Yeah, it's
black
about
on black
building a
crime.
bridge. It was about building a bridge.
Yes, and we both going through the same shit. We killing each other. You dig? And didn't need any more miscommunication between both sides that caused more calamity and shit like that. So being out there, I went through a lot of shit. Shouts to my man Snacks, who took the risk with me and went out there. I remember jumping out, landing 2 vests, 2 hammers, 1 driver who was actually Crip. So in the beginning of my navigation through the West Coast, it was a Crip. I don't really want to say his name because I don't know if he want people to know about, you know what I mean? But there was a Crip who introduced me to the most influential bloods that I needed to know at that time in all of the blood neighborhoods from
Who the
Athens.
homie we just talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll love that.
Posey, I mean, my man Posey, man.
Posey back in
Shouts
motion,
to Posey. I haven't seen Posey in a minute, but Posey was the Crip that took the risk on taking me around to all the blood neighborhoods and introducing me to all the real rights that I needed to know in order for me to be moving around on the West Side
Right.
the way I would like to. You know what I mean? And I mean, Athens Park, Nickerson Garden. Shouts to Fort Ben, RP Fort Ben. I remember him taking me to Nickerson Gardens also. Like I was telling you, that's one of Game's best friends that I met when I went out there to the West Coast. Like I was telling you, I had birthday parties inside of Enterprise Park, and if you don't know what Enterprise Park or who Enterprise Park is, and back then you could do some research and shit like that. This is early. This is 03, 04. Like I've been outside for a minute. And just remember coming to do the video, and in the midst of doing the video, me and certain people, and somebody linked me up with Booyah Tribe, RP the Gangster, and they took me in like the legend. They took me in like the blood brother I am and shit like that, and they told me, you want to shoot this video, just tell us what you want to do, where you want to go inside their neighborhood. They was knocking on houses like, Jim want to shoot the video, or someone do the liquor store scene like Menace to Society. He said, we going around the corner, they going to let you shoot whatever. I had no problem, and then went to go to Compton and shoot the video. I'm telling Game, come outside. Game, like, you sure you know what you're doing? I'm like, bro, I got it. Like, I got to the bottom of it. I got some real ones with me. They moving me through. He like, you sure? I'm like, man, I'm sure. I came out here from the East. You come outside and get the Game. End up coming outside later on, and we end up, I forgot what Parker was. We did the try to start to do the Certified Gangster video. When before we get out there, I kept needing different things, and everybody kept telling me I got to speak to Wacko. Like, I need the Lolos. They like, yo, you got to speak to Wacko. I need this. They like, you got to speak to Wacko. They like, I don't know, you got to speak to Wacko. I'm like, what the fuck, who's Wacko? So, like, I was telling you, I was like, fuck it, where's Wacko? They introduced me to Wacko. Wacko mad strong with it from here, like the movies. Hey, what's up, homie? What you need, homie? This my hood, homie. I'm like, ooh, okay, we got the right one. All right, I started building Wacko and shit like that. He's so aggressive and strong through the whole shit. I'm like, damn. In my mind, I'm from the East. I'm like, this shit like Boys in the Hood in real life. My man Snags back there, he clutching the whole time. He don't know what's going on. We outnumbers, 2 of us. Like, then we start doing the video, then Wacko gets locked up. The whole hood like, oh shit, police just locked Wacko up. I'm like, oh man, I can see the fucking.
So he was to jail.
He went to jail for doing the video. The police like, Wacko, we don't give a fuck who out here. You know better than trying to do no videos out here, no blood neighborhood. Lock Wacko right up the whole hood, just like niggas was like, I'm like, what's going on? They're like, man, they locked Wacko up. Who the fuck? But where we from, like I was telling you, nigga get locked up, we got to bail him out. You dig? So I'm like, yo, where he got locked up at? Like, somebody find out what the bill and let's bail him out. They like 5,000. I bail him out. They're like, oh shit. Wacko came out. He was like, man, bro, I respect the whole. You got to line with me forever. Niggas don't do shit like that, blood. That was respectable. And since then, 04, whenever I did the video out there, me and Wacko been locked in the whole time. Wacko.
Wacko is his brain.
Wacko, get the name. It's Wacko. You got it. Let me stop.
We're going to take a break on Wacko. We left off with the relationship from L.A. to the East Coast, to the West Coast, to the South, because this culture then grew all over the world. And I feel like, personally, I like the fact that the culture is growing, but now the education and the intelligence need to be attached to the culture to make it become something else. Because I studied history. I was a person who studied how nations was built, organizations was built, and just like the B's and the C's, all of these different political organizations came from something. All of them. And we had our own problems, just like years ago, when I was younger, before they took the guns from the Army and the Navy dudes who came stateside, they used to be beefing with each other. Niggas in the Army used to be shooting each other. Niggas in the Navy used to be fighting the same ignorance we experienced. But now we see, for the first time in history, men who have took hip-hop and who are really giving it back. Philanthropists who are great leaders, showing examples, and we can do the same thing. All we gotta do is grow. But like bro was saying, he had mentioned how him and Wacko had met, and how Wacko had really helped his cause.
Yeah, Wacko was dope, man. Even now to this day, like I was saying, like even from the day that I met him doing the video and shit like that, the line has been extra clear between me and him, and the love has been reciprocated 1,000 times over from our endeavors that we had to every time I touch that on that side. I make sure that I tap in with him as my brother and touch on this side. But besides that, he's a smart dude and all the things he's doing for the Bloods and getting everybody together. Because we all started projecting with violence and ignorance and shit like that, but as you get older, you do learn a little bit different. So to see a lot of the people that I came with this day, man, turning it over, trying to teach the youth instead of turning them into monsters and shit like that, trying to teach them that there's other ways to go about certain things and shit like that, is definitely a dope feeling. So shout out to Wacko. Yeah. If you know him, you know what's up. You heard?
My man moving in a whole other direction, bro. Like me, I'm always big on property and on owning shit. Like that's when I first came home in 2004. I shut down our neighborhood, basically. I shut down. I didn't want no cameras coming in there filming. If you came in the Crenshaw district and you wasn't one of us, if you weren't like my homeboys, or you want some that was a profit, and I wanted to teach my homeboys how to own their own businesses. If they come shoot a video in here, you need to be the EP, the producer, director. You need to be something where you can get a check. Or fuck that. They got a nigga holding the camera. You need to hold the camera. My first guy with Nip, Robin Hood, and all them, they didn't understand that. Then I'm a nigga coming home from prison, and they didn't understand. I was really trying to teach them really on how to do the business. You know what I mean? And I felt like what a lot of homies was doing, they wasn't really giving niggas the game. As far as you concerned, like, where you at is like your business. Not the music part, but just like as far as teaching your sons and how you...
Well, everything that I do, I make sure that my son is a part of, or I make sure my son helps me out, or make sure he knows what I'm doing, so in case I need his help, he's always there. He's a little bit smarter than me than I was at his age, so it's great to always get his help, but I definitely couldn't keep him fully abreast of what's going on, because it's going to be a time that I'm going to do all this work for him. Hopefully, I'm going to leave it in his hands so he can continue with the torch. That's what he would like to do. But as far as my business, man, I've been about my business before I've been about my rap. That's one of the things that kept me afloat through all the hard times, even the ups and downs and shit like that, is to be able to have a sound business mind and be able to do business inside without having to do any music and be able to set my lifestyle. And that's helped me out a whole lot. In the present, I've been into a whole lot of things, from music. I just acquired 50% ownership of the gym. So we have a Fairfield gym powered by Iron Ring Fitness. I'm into crypto. I got my own coin. I'm selling NFTs. I got a crypto ATM business, so people looking to make some ancillary money, some good ancillary money. I can teach you about that. The weather report on Revo is about to come back up. I'm missing a bunch
Quarantine
of
Studios.
Quarantine Studios.
What's
That's
that?
a major part. Quarantine Studios. I figured out how to record virtually in real time with the least amount of latency that's known to mankind. It's pretty groundbreaking. Shout out to Amazon, AWS, who's help me build out the actual technology that's going to fuel this whole quarantine studio. So I'm pretty excited about that. Every direction I'm going in pretty much has been a blessing knowing where I came from. And
so it's quarantine studio. You gonna be signing people?
Well, we have distribution. I have my own distribution also through Empire. Shout out to Ghazi. So quarantine studios is multifaceted. You have the technology part where you can do anything on that screen that you could do in the studio. You can do without leaving the comforts of your own home. And then we have the part where we render services from artists you may want to get in touch with to get music or something from, to anything you desire inside the music industry, from entertainment lawyers to publicists to help with your publishing to marketing, like the list goes on. So it's a one-stop shop for anybody who wants to be involved with music or aspires to be involved with music. Just want to have fun and learn more about it. It's nothing but a learning experience, as every department has somebody who can give you a little lesson in what it is.
I'm gonna take you back. You said Ghazi.
Yes.
Yeah, man. When we was chopping up earlier, you was talking about how your relationship with Ghazi, and if you could just kind of like get a people like how you first started with
Gosh, I first started with Cam with Diplomats from not getting the deal I wanted at the Rockefeller and Def Jam, and me and Cam coming together like we might as well do an independent. People that not care about the Def Jam more than they care about the Diplomat logo. They gonna go buy the music wherever the Diplomat logos are. So we ended up doing a dope deal with Koch. We ended up making a lot of money with Koch. I ended up doing well in that Koch. In that time, I was able to do another deal with Sony. I had a dope little bidding war between like Interscope and a bunch of labels. Took a check, big ass check from Sony. That didn't go the way we wanted. That's a whole nother story. A lot of politics.
Shit, man. What happened? They gave you the bag and
They gave me the bag. It was a fortunate and unfortunate situation, but life comes back in circles and shit like that. So at that time, they gave me the bag. They ended up doing some type of business with Jay, and they felt that it was best that they do business with him as they do business with me. So after my album had dropped, they gave me one sheet of paper one day in the office, and it was like, "Yo, you sign this paper, you don't owe us nothing at all, not a dime, nothing. You keep all the money yourself." I was like, "Shit." I'm out, but
shit, it's more to it. Can't tell everything.
But I did.
I get it. I'm kind of like, I don't know if y'all get it, but it said Jay. So I told you I was gone, bro.
And at that time,
I was gone.
At that time, there was the whole back and forth between Rockefeller and Dipset and all that type of shit, which we don't have to get into. But the people already know what it is. So at the tail
what year was it?
08, 09, something like that, 07, something like that. So at the tail end of that is where I ended up getting the deal, and that didn't go the way I wanted, but I thought it would be beneficial that I got a shitload of money and didn't have to pay in every bag, and I could go do what I wanted to do. But what I didn't know, I was kind of getting boxed out at that time.
So they gave you the bag.
Said, see you later. All the way later. They tried to vicariously bury me through just politics and shit like that. No one to blame but me and shit like that. But I'm gonna survive. I know how to do what I know how to do. End up taking short hiatus. Well, not a hiatus with myself. I know I took a hiatus because I wasn't doing music at the capacity I knew I could do because I was a little discouraged. Had a dope studio downtown where we housed the whole hood, and I've seen plenty of artists come out and help plenty of artists get record deals in the midst of the time that I took my hiatus and shit like that. Came to a time with some urgency. Knew I had one more deal at Koch. Went to Koch. It didn't work the way I wanted to. Alan I was a little bit too aggressive for him at that time. He told me, I know a guy who's has a distribution. It's probably the way you like to do music. It's fast. It's no ins and outs to it. It's money up front. You give him the music, you get your money, and that's that. You get your money in the back end. I'm like, cool. He introduced me to Ghazi. Came to New York. Did the first deal.
The rise of Empire.
And then, that's been like 9 years ago, and I've been with Ghazi ever since. From the first check he did me to shout out to Ghazi, man. He's one of the absolute coldest executives that I've met in my career since I've been here since 1997, 1998. And he pays on time. He does not sham the money. He like to spread love, man. I've made a shitload of money with Ghazi.
Another thing about Ghazi was different with Ghazi. Ghazi at that time was the master of the internet.
he was the master of the internet. He's also the master of the bridge between the major labels and what the youngsters were doing. So what the youngsters were doing for a moment was they knew how to monetize the money by themselves without needing a label. That's when the streams first came in. They kind of had the labels in the uproar. What Ghazi was smart enough to do was figure out how to help the youngsters monetize their money, keep it in an account, and get them paid every month on the month if you can make more than $300, which was genius because every independent artist needed that extra help on top of what they was doing. Maybe get a check from iTunes here and there and shit like that. But he was figuring out how to put that shit all in one from everything. What the labels didn't know was what kind of what Ghazi was doing when it came to getting streams and helping kids monetize. And Ghazi was the key to success in that bridge. And now his whole template is. That's what the music industry is about. Pretty much what he's created. And shit, Empire's up there right now. Like as I seen, he could sign any artist as any major label could sign him. As I seen him help people get bags of multiple millions and shit like that. He's helping these youngsters cash out, and he has some of the biggest records in these past 4 years.
He signed that girl, man. He signed with that girl out of Europe, Iggy Azalea.
I didn't even know he signed Iggy.
He signed Iggy.
He got. Pretty much, he signed a lot of great artists that have a lot of fan base, like from the T.I.'s to all the new artists, Filthy's over there. Like, you think any artist you can think about that pretty much is out there that's successful on the independent level is probably signed to Empire. I mean, a lot of them. Like, I think he has a roster of over 3,000 artists. So imagine that music streaming every day.
What's your biggest song, bro? Like, to you, what was your biggest song, and then what song did you think that you wanted to be? Like in your message, what was your biggest song? Because I was talking Ice-T. To me,
statistically,
Ice-T biggest
song.
My
favorite song.
Your favorite song?
My favorite song that meant the most to me.
Yeah,
it was probably a song called "How G Is This," which probably nobody would have known, but it was a freestyle I kind of did in the beginning of my solo career in the projects and Wagner and shit like that. And I did that freestyle, and that kind of gave me an indication out here in the streets that niggas was fucking hard. That's when it was heavy on the gangbang. That's when the niggas was heavy in the streets selling drugs and
you
shit
remember?
Like that. The IG is this I'm from the other side, brothers, guys. I can't. I gotta hear like a little bit of it, but I did the Jay-Z beat over. But this freestyle is on like YouTube and all that shit. It's called IG is this, but I never forget the action of it because I can remember I had the leather army coat on. I just was so wild and so loose in the street at that time. My cousin Doe Stacks, he was on house arrest because he got caught with like 5-6 guns when we was on a Dipset tour, and he ended up making the news. So he was in Wagner. I would go over there every day, make sure he was alright, and we just started doing the music and start doing my. That was one of the coldest freestyles I kind of led me into.
It's a trip, right? How the West influenced y'all as far as gang culture, but we was influenced by a New York movie on the West, and that was Warriors.
Oh, Warriors.
See that movie influenced us.
It was so gang oriented.
Yeah.
That's why,
bro. We felt like everybody felt like they was the Warriors trying to get back to Coney Island.
You gotta get back home.
West Coast culture turned this all the way out. You see, my first real single was like Certified Gangster. Like I meant that shit. Like I was when I told you I went to the West Coast, I was excited, scared, everything. Nigga, I was like, I'm going out there. Like nigga, we really mean shit. Like nigga, all the West Coast movies niggas didn't watch. Every West Coast movie you could imagine, niggas didn't watch them. Do them shit.
And I tell people all the time that we got the hip hop from the East, but we was able to give it the look. We gave it that look. Born because when we came with Colors, Colors came, Boys in the Hood, and all the movies. We started being able to give our culture.
That turned us up. When we started seeing how the West Coast moved, like that shit was like, they going crazy out there.
Boys in the Hood, not Boys
in the Hood. Men's Society.
Men's Society.
Men's Society changed niggas' lives out here.
OG Bobby Johnson. Which one was that?
Deuce.
Deuce.
That was the name.
That was
South Central.
South Central.
There was another one too. There's so many of them we just love to watch and shit like that. But it all kind of encompasses the same behavior and shit like that. Niggas just going wild, running with the niggas they love and shit like that. Before we was gang niggas with the block, like you from this side, you
this
from
side,
this
from
block,
this block,
and this
that
nigga,
block.
and
Right.
niggas got a problem with niggas on 18th. Oh, nah, niggas got a problem with niggas in 12th. And it's still like that, but it ended up starting turning into.
That's like now in New York, even with the like, you know, of course you got the Bloods, you got the Crips, you got GDs, you got a few other gangs, but in between all of that, you got these little block gangs, little 3-letter gangs, some shit like AMG and whatever. You know, they might be 5 Crips, 6 Bloods, 2 black kids,
all
70
going
that
crazy
guys,
together.
and they all together though.
Going
Right.
crazy.
Because that's just where they from.
They all grew up on the same block.
These blocks are
Yeah.
tight.
The
These
difference
blocks
between here is your grandfather then when it came to the blood. So the whole neighborhood is Crip. That's what it is. Here it wasn't that to the 90s. So everybody grew up with each other before they started saying, oh, I'm blood, oh, I'm Crip. So now you got a whole block, 4 niggas Crip over here, 30 niggas blood over there, because it was predominantly blood over here. You had Crip niggas out here that was devilish as a motherfucker that was running around here like Rambo or shit like that, getting chased by like it just was. Shit is this. It was the same shit out here. It's this, but all in all, black on black crime, and we was all killing each other for no reason, for no apparent reason, and shit like that. So to be here, to be able
But
to
it's
talk
like I
to
was
you,
telling you earlier, it's all about evolution. You ain't
exactly.
evolving, you dying.
This is
Right,
what I'm
So
saying.
if we can't be grown men and still thinking the same, if you thinking the same, that means you got stuck in the past. Arrested developments. At some point, you got stuck at like 29.
I like
Or you 40.
I like to say that
You
like
can't do what you was doing in your 20s, in your 30s, and do what you do in your 30s. In your 40s, you got to evolve in some way. And if you're not doing that, then you know the ignorance in you is never going to stop. You might as well call it quit. We know where you're going to be at.
I think we in the stage, right? Because I study so many. I used to study dynasties, how people build from the ground up. We as black people, we don't look back enough to see how far we have come. Like we working on our next show on hip hop Uncovered. It's gonna be hip hop and the evolution of sports, and we're gonna be talking about how hip hop was ostracized and blamed for so much, but now they have taken it.
Yeah, even
Like-
like when Iverson first came with the brain.
Yeah,
When Baller came out,
Yeah.
see how it went crazy in the NFL. They kind of accepted a little bit. To the NFL, the Giants held me down. We submitted that shit to the NBA. Them niggas hit us back, but we don't do no hip hop, nothing. Like nothing. Like, don't use a dub. We ain't playing like no games, no nothing. You dig? And then a few years later,
Now it's
the younger players start coming in. That's all about the coach. They had to switch it up. And not to mention, we are the leading money maker in this world.
In
So
the
of course,
world.
they got to come get some. I have ball on the biggest basketball record, sports record, period. Them niggas dub me. Like, no. We don't do no hip hop here.
See, the thing is, it don't matter who started it, who monetized it.
they monetize it.
Okay,
and that's
so
where we
they-
at.
So we got.
They own it, bro. Like
It's amazing to me. I look at all all of the affluent black people in the world, whether they're in entertainment or whatever. No one ever thought to say, yo, you know what? Let's control the culture at some, because we don't control the culture.
well, you know what I think. What it is they were so busy not understanding the culture that enough of us didn't come in. But now we see like Yo Gotti, you got Yo Gotti, the Jay-Z's, the
but
Jims, and all that who really buying other shit.
How late in the game is that, and how few of the many is that to get those opportunities? It's no different than when
It is, like-
Harlem was booming on every block, and every block was getting so money. They didn't realize that they were selling these buildings for $1, and they was going to give you the loan to fix the whole building up. As we stood on these corners and made thousands and millions
for
at
that
the time.
building.
We didn't care, and we hustling out the building, but we were so occupied on making the money, which they
Yeah.
put in front of us all the time. We wasn't worried about the business and what really makes the money right in front of our eyes. It's the same shit that we go through now.
But that's a lack of education, though. What that was is our uncles fresh out of Reconstruction, fresh out of not being able to go to school. You know what I mean? And then lack of education. I'm the second generation of. My mother was the only one out of 13 brothers and sisters who ever went to school, and she went to college. So when they left Mississippi and went to California, she was the only one that even had an education past elementary.
Right.
So they didn't know how to tell us to go buy these properties. Just like my uncle told me, bro, I was one of the dumbest motherfuckers on planet Earth. Nigga, we was getting money in LA. Nigga, I'm sitting with $1 million in my uncle's house, and I got cash all over. My uncle told me, buy this house over here, buy this house over there. They only want $15,000. I could have bought a whole block up. We had enough money in there to buy the whole block. I didn't understand that though. I couldn't catch it when he was saying it. And there's gonna be so many motherfuckers in LA who was in the culture who gonna say that. We should have owned our own neighborhood.
That's the same
but
thing.
we didn't know.
Same thing. The same shit in Harlem. A $1 brown zone.
Literally
All these millions of dollars for.
Yeah, man. And then now, right, y'all got the green coming to New York. You know what I'm saying? Like they whooped us on that in LA. We ain't the ones running that. Man, you got the Asians came in. Asians, the Persians, all came in and took over. Well, they got all of the
Albanians, they got
all the licenses, they got all of it right now. We didn't get the shit because they made us all criminals. You know what I'm saying? Right. They made us criminals first coming out the door. First thing they do is give us a case. 100%. Once you become a felon, you can't do shit.
But they do have these social equity programs. I will say that in certain states they got these social equity programs, like people that have been convicted of the marijuana crime. They offering a chance to actually.
That was all cap in California, though. I'm gonna tell you.
There's a few. I know a few people that actually.
Well, let me tell you what they did.
They give that to you, but they don't give that to you with no finance. So you can have a whole license, but how you gonna open up a dispensary if you don't have the money?
No, let me tell you what they did in California, brother. That's what they did. They opened it up for the social equity program was California. I was on top of all that. They opened it up for 200 people, right? It was only gonna give out 200 licenses within the city of LA. Then because it can't be social equity in the suburbs or in Beverly Hills because the social equity program was supposed to be to benefit people who was affected by the war on drugs, targeted areas. When they set the program up, the people who was running the program, they said you had to apply for the license. Go through all the steps, apply for the license online. They went in and tweaked the internet. Right. So all the black people who really should have got it, applied for it, didn't get to apply for it. They had all the different people, the Asians, the Persians, tweaked the system. So on the internet, out of the 200 licenses the people applied for, it was only 28 blacks. Yeah. So the ones that you know that got it is still fighting for it. So now what's going on, so because it was a lawsuit filed, they trying to fix it, and they added another 100. You know, my wife, I did my wife in the motherfucker because of me and her. She only like 400 and something on the list. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because they went in and tweaked the shit. So again, how did they get us? They beat us through the internet. You know what I'm saying? They went in there and tweaked the shit. They knew how to. So what? They got the motherfuckers who's the politician running LA. What I'm telling y'all is, when they come out here, don't fall for it. Because they whooped us with it in LA. Right. All the licenses, all the grows and all that shit, they literally whooped us with it.
That shit is out here and it's already shut. If you ain't part of it already or got your ways into it already, that shit is already swallowed up. It's New York City, big business.
They probably did y'all the same way, bro. They whooped us.
It's a cookie cutter approach. Once it works somewhere else, it's gonna work here. It's
way more loose in LA than it is here. You know, this is New York. Everybody want to get paid, so they not like nothing slide.
Yeah, they tell you, look, man, I bet you got them social. You look at the social equity program. Damn the part about them saying you need the money to build it out, right? Brothers didn't even get that opportunity. You got maybe, like I said, after the first 28, they came in, they felt so bad they had to add more. Right. So they still trying to figure it out. So they said if you got approved, like we got approved, they approve you to do delivery. You know what I'm saying? So you can do delivery, but you can't get a building. That's where the money play comes in. You gotta have the money to build it to this spec, get this loan, do this and all this other bullshit. You feel me? But then who they hitting? They hitting us again because they know you ain't got no $1 million, $2 million under the mattress, nowhere to do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So
$500,000 in the bank, another $500,000.
All that. And what they do, they want you to show the cash. Show how you got it. Where it came from.
You just can't pop up with an account with $500,000 in it.
You can't do that.
Where did this money generate from? How did it accrue?
What you doing in the movie, in the filming?
Christmas movie with Nick Cannon was out there.
You said a Christmas movie?
With Nick Cannon in Atlanta. It's about Harlem. The funny thing is about Harlem. It's about It's about the Vance, actually. Dope little comedy. He had all the comedians you could think of in it. I was in Atlanta for like a week shooting. So I got a major role in the Christmas movies. It's pretty much about my lifestyle in a funny way and shit like that attached to it. So it's dope.
You got a movie with Nick Cannon,
Yes, sir.
but you stay with the red team, don't you? Nigga ain't got no movie with Big U. He ain't got no movie with the blue team.
Let's
Come on,
go.
man.
Let's go.
He got a movie with the red
Sign
team.
me up. Sign me up. See how deep we get in LA. He like, oh, that's the red team.
Hey man, listen. You know what I mean? Nick ain't even got a. What's up, nephew? He just did
I got to meet his pops and all that too and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, his pops used to be was on the blue side.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when the hood they was here in San Diego, they was originally Crips. Then in their era, they turned Bloods. Yeah.
History.
Yeah. Nick can tell you.
History.
Nick can tell you. Nick is brilliant though, man.
Nah, he definitely a genius.
I had talked to Joe earlier about the verses. Okay, so now, did you fall off the stage, bro?
Nah, I was throwing some weed to the people I had, and this ring right here flew off. And I just started walking towards the ring, and I walked off the stage. Luckily, I landed on my feet. All the niggas I was with seen something happen. They see me jump off the stage and walk off the stage, and then luckily I got to see the person who grabbed it and shit like that. Luckily, it was somebody actually doing shit like that. Got my ring back and jumped back on stage.
I never watched the verses. No, I did. That's a lie. I watched the Isley Brother verses. I didn't watch my second verses was y'all verses. I watched, and I watched Fat Joe's again because I kind of be waiting to see what they turn out like if it was good or not, if it was legendary. Because like I said, I was brand new coming home, so I really was just like not really into the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then it was telling me y'all shit was niggas falling off stage, niggas was kicking each other, niggas was
that shit was
having fun.
That shit was very, very aggressive in the most dysfunctional way with love. Like it was dope. Shout out to Box and shit like that. I had a ball. We went through the motions back and forth and shit like that. Jada came prepared. They came prepared. I had fun. I got paid very well for it. It's a dope platform, man. Shout out to Swiss and Timberland. It's crazy how they're able to bring artists from the yesterday and put them back in the game instantaneously after these versus competitions and shit like that. As you see, Jada Kiss out here moving different. As you see, even Ja Rule out here moving different. Like it helps out with who he was. The fucking platform is dope. I know they got a bunch more shit they about to put in store for people. Shout out to Swiss and the Big South, man. Versus was dope, man. That definitely was a dope versus. You know what I mean? If I get the chance to do my own versus in New York, I would love to probably do that in the future.
Who you gonna do the verses with?
I mean, at that point, it wouldn't matter. In the city, it wouldn't matter. I got enough records like everybody else got enough records. It's only 20 records. I've been doing this for a long time. Between my records and the features I've done, and I got a bunch of records that the city would know and I can have fun with.
What's the next move though for Jim though in this music though?
The next move in the music?
Yeah, what's the next move? I mean, who you got?
All right. For one, I just did a deal at Empire where I have my own distribution platform through Empire, my own shit. I don't need them to put records out. Big shout out to Gary, budget and all that shit. So now I have the ability to distribute the music and any music I want and shit like that. So, yeah, like a baby Empire under Empire and shit like that with the likes of pushing the artist up if he does catch a buzz and getting.
I'm waiting for World Star to give me one of them.
Shit, they said they got it. That's how you got to set it up. And shit
Yeah, I'm
like
just
that.
waiting on World Star. Where that camera?
Because people like us are too close to the artist.
And me too.
I mean, like, World Star, where you at, Jim?
Right after y'all do his thing.
Tell them what you got, Jim. They ain't hear that shit.
I need to kind of do like an incubator deal for him. Like he give him his own distribution where he can sign artists and give them distribution, and hopefully they start to catch a buzz. And when they do catch a buzz, he can sit down with y'all now, help the artist catch a bigger buzz, using your resources up at World Star, which will help bring the artist to a fair share stardom. You heard? But that's what it's about. And not to mention, and I'm doing 6 albums simultaneously. We got the Bird Gang album. Slated to come out in November. I got the Lobby Boys album with Mano supposed to come out in December.
I'm also in the midst of completing a Latin album, which I got like 16 records of some of the dopest Latin artists. I got a whole record produced by Young Berg and shit like that comes out for Valentine's Day. I got a whole record produced by Scram Jones. I believe that's it. And shout out to my nigga VL Deck for doing an artist album with VL Deck. It's artists from down south of Atlanta. He's pretty dope and shit like that. So
And yes,
I'm working.
VL.
VL this way, you heard?
VL that way. Hey, look, there's a story behind that, right? I was telling Jim in 1982, I got kicked out of California. So I go to Chicago. So I went to Central Junior Hall for a bunch of shit. They kicked me out of Chicago. Kicked me out of LA. Released me to Central Junior Hall, sent me to my pops. I've been in school in Chicago. I'm going to Harlem High School. I get there, they ask me, I go the first day of school. I got some fresh starts, 501s, with the blue rag out of my pocket, with the penalty ironed up. I get to school. They ask me why I'm dressed up like I'm going to church. I mean, and this is before anybody knew anything about the West Coast culture. They just like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, man, I'm a Crip. And they like, what the fuck is Crips? What the fuck is Bloods? I'm like, damn. Then these niggas get to asking me about Michael Jackson. Do I know Willis and Arnold? Do I know how to skateboard?
You from Hollywood.
Like, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna do no motherfucker. Then they asked the nigga, do you know how to surf? What the fuck you talking about? I said, all right, well, you know, you better learn about your B's and C's, because you motherfuckers gonna, ain't no Disneyland, motherfucker. I don't go to Disneyland. And when I do go to Magic Mountain, we go to fight. But the story is, so in LA, we throw up neighborhood and we do this and we do this. Like, that's how you represent where area I was from. So I cause so much conflict because that's throwing down. Like, if you do this,
right.
to us, this is an end. So that's what that stands for, end. In this neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So out there, this was a VL. And if you threw that down, that was this. What them niggas laying down on me so hard. The fuck is that, nigga? You better put this in. Then the nigga have to learn, and that's what Checc'n In is, because you got to know what's going on in every city you is. You know what I'm saying? And that was like my lesson. Like, you know, then you can't turn your head to one side, can't turn to the other side. You know what I'm saying? And really learning culture.
Now, when we first landed, the first time we went to Chicago, we landed in Chicago. They said, man, listen, man, you know, we from Harlem. We I had any way we wanted where I had. They said, man, you got to keep that thing straight or back. There's going to be drama out here, man. It's gangs on either side. You wear that shit to the right, that's this gang. You wear that shit to the left, that's that gang. Like, you wear that shit to the front, that mean it's action. You wear that shit to the back. I'm like, oh, y'all got hat rules? This shit crazy in Chicago.
Fuck it, I ain't wearing no hat.
On point. I mean, because I felt like, because at that time, you had to learn your laws.
Right.
You had to know the law of the day. You had to learn. I can't remember everything. I don't want to say nothing wrong. But I think you had to learn your law of the day. You had to know certain greetings. You had to know how to, you know, encounter your sergeants. I think they had sergeants, lieutenants, and they was like, man, what y'all got? Shit, we got nothing but OGs, big homegirls. Your homegirls,
big homegirls,
little homegirls,
big homegirls, little homegirls.
OG.
What you mean, lieutenant? You're fancy out here.
Who are you? Like, nigga, I'm a tiny loaf. I'm a first generation. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but that's how it was.
Tiny loaf. We so, like I say, man, we so in a different place now, to where when you see dudes now, you gonna see 4 Bloods, 3 Crips, niggas from all kind of shit.
I said earlier,
it's gonna be moving.
And they got
trying to get to the band.
And they got their own thing, and they calling it something else. And
now they calling it, they still where they from, but they just, this they click. Like, nigga, this my nigga.
I don't know about LA, but I know here, yeah, supposedly is blood on Crip beef, but it's really blood on blood beef. More bloods beefing with each other than they see a Crip and walk by. Like, man, I got a problem with the homie on 823. Like, he from this side. Man, I'm riding up there, I'm going crazy on him, nigga. Like, it's blood on blood crime. Like, it's like, that shit is the shit that be amazing me. Like, nigga, what we doing here?
Where's the opposing factor at when we going at each other every day is a beef between the blood set and shit like that. Like, that's
the major beef in behind the wall now with the homies and shit like that. It ain't really no outside external shit. Is all that shit be internal.
I can tell you this
shit.
LA is a little bit hotter than it normally is being, but we progress, and a lot of dudes is moving in great directions. And I'm gonna tell you too, because I feel like it's black flight. But listen, I gotta hit y'all with this rapid 6, right? So we got 6 questions. I just landed in New York. Where we going to eat at?
I'm not a big restaurant guy. They gotta take me to eat. What time is it? You see, I just had a chopped cheese in my thing.
Where we going
2 o'clock. I just landed in New York.
In Harlem?
Where we going to eat? If we go black, you want. There's a difference though, because you got New York.
There's a few spots.
I'm gonna ask you: do you want black or do you want downtown? Who you into? Maybe you might go Felice, you might go Mr. Chad.
Or you want to come uptown.
I don't know what you want.
You got Melba's up the block. You got Sylvia's. You might want chicken and waffles. You might want Jimbo. Or you might want to go to the 24 fish spot. The fish spot fire, but it be crowded most of the time and shit like that. But it's 24 hours. You get at any time.
125th Street.
Fire.
I gotta come over there and go see the court. I want to see what you going.
The east side got all the Spanish food, so if you want to go to Cuchi Fritos, get los con pollos and rice and beans and all that type of shit, that's all on the east side, all up in the heights and shit like that. Now if you want to go to DR, we take you up to the heights and you go get all the Dominican food you need and shit like that.
All right. Where we going shopping at?
It depends. Harlem is a shopping playground. You go to 3rd Avenue, 125th Street, 145th Street. You go to Bronx, 3rd Avenue. You go downtown, take it to the big shots like 375, like Patient of the New, like Prada Store. What you want to do, it depends on what type of drip you talking about. You dig? The shopping is extensive.
Okay.
You can do whatever.
It's a hard one. What you playing in your car? What's on? Not the radio. What you playing in your car? What's your number?
Right now,
what
I was just playing Sports Drug and Entertainment. Can Sugar, him and the Philly niggas. That's one of my hardest verses.
I'm gonna keep it funky. You can ask niggas that drive in my car. I even play my music, and the only 2 albums I got on my fucking shit is Nip album and the Drake album. And them shits just run.
The new Drake?
No, the last Drake. And them shits just run. But the Nip album just run as soon as I put my phone on. Nip is with me, you heard? No bullshit. I see niggas be, hold on, I got it. Now we gotta pull out receipts because niggas be thinking I'm jacking like, oh, now he gonna say Nip because Big U was dead. No. Let's get to it. Where the fuck is the music at? How y'all do this shit? Music.
What's your sports? What's your sports team? Football.
Football, gotta go with the Giants.
What that say?
Nip, nigga, victory lap.
You gotta go with the Giants.
Giants?
I don't like the Giants.
Giants, of course. I'm all Giants in New York. All New York teams. I'm for anything New York. It don't matter. Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks, the Islanders, the Rangers.
You pick all LA teams?
No.
Who's your teams?
I'm the Vikings.
I did see you with the Vikings. I see you with Snoop.
My secondary basketball team is the Warriors, but they ain't been that good.
I'm the Lakers all day, man. It's the Lakers, man.
I've never been the Knicks, though.
I'm always Knicks, but my secondary,
I never
when they was doing bad, I had to go with Curry. Curry was
never
fucking shit up.
It's always been bad. They get injured players. It's always bad.
Knicks had a bad few decades.
We're in New York. How the fuck we ain't got a winning basketball team? It's just unbelievable.
We got the best sports team.
Biggest budget. Big budget.
Y'all got the biggest budget.
What the fuck is going on? How we don't win?
Because y'all don't got the Lakers. Okay, last one. We got to handle some business. Who you leaving me with?
Who I'm leaving?
You got to go do something. You said Big U, my man, going to hold you down.
Shooter.
All right, that's one. You got one more.
2 people?
Yeah, Shooter and who else?
In my hood?
Yeah.
Young Handsome.
There it is. Shooter and Young Handsome. Y'all got Big U. I'm y'all responsibility. That mean I'm pulling up to the Carter tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
To the Carter. You show you the Carter.
They know them names in Harlem. They pretty reputable. They stand up guys. Legend has it, one day my cousin Doe got locked up and I was pissed off and I was riding uptown and They say I fell off, dozed off at the wheel, and I crashed into a truck. And they said that, this is all legend, though. They said that the truck rolled up, and they said that I got out the car, looked around, bust a move for it. They said end up in the train station with nowhere to go. I jump on the train tracks. 2 precincts was after me, supposedly. They stop all the trains in the track, supposedly crawl in the train. Somehow I see somebody I know. I get his hat and his coat and his newspaper, and I sit there like the movies, and all the cops walk by, supposedly. So the train goes ding dong, and I end up at the last stop. Supposedly my dude that gave me the job was like, stupid, wake up, man. We at the last stop, and I get up and I collapse because of all the shots from the car accident. I couldn't even walk for like 2 weeks, supposedly. You dig? But that's how they talk about you, bro. They make up all these elaborate stories.
Hey, look here. That's one grandosis. You owe another one.
I owe another one?
You owe another one, man.
There's a lot of stories I would like to tell y'all, but sometimes where I'm at in my life, a lot of these stories don't sit right for me, but I know y'all will love it.
That's why they grandosis.
I know y'all will love it.
Grandosis.
I lived a hell of a lifestyle. I've been outside since 1993, busting and jugging, you heard? Do not forget that, man. You did what you niggas know now is not who y'all know. Boy, I've been out here since you've been in Pampers. Maybe before that, nigga, your mama probably liked to think I've been banging and slanging and doing everything alive to stay alive, you dig? Stop playing with me out here in these streets. Stop trying to put that slander and propaganda on my name. I'm as real as they come, you heard?
As loud as y'all slander.
I'm somebody that John Gotti Sr. will be proud of. I promise you, you heard? Don't worry about how I do it. Just worry about I'm going to keep doing it. Keep giving you niggas hell. The bag is up, it been up. I know how to get to the money. You heard? I'm fast with it, Jack. Stop playing with me, you heard? You don't want me to go back to yesterday. That's not the guy you want to see. What I'm trying to project is something positive.
No.
I'm trying to switch it up, so get with me. We can make a lot of more money than we did back then. You heard?
And that's checking in with Jim.
Yeah, man. See, what y'all don't understand is you got to check in, man. Everywhere I go, I check in, man. No, I don't get checked, I check in. It's a big difference, man. You gotta really understand what I'm saying.